Welcome back, Mr. Witness. For continuation of your testimony, may I remind you that you are still under oath before I hand you over to Madam Chair for us to proceed. Thank you. Madam Chair, over to you.
Welcome back, Mr. Batchily.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Councillor, you may proceed.
Yes, Mr. Batchily, we had asked that you, we've asked you the issue regarding the Sharps
Yes.
consultant, correct?
Yes.
Now, you were explaining the background.
Yes, I was explaining previously to you that the ex-director of finance, who was my chief financial advisor, came forward to talk about means and ways of increasing our license revenue. And the whole emphasis was on trying to have a similar footing for the jurisdiction of Banjul, just like the GRA. I'm sure some of the subsequent documents I will submit, you'll see that the emphasis was on matching in terms of GRA, in terms of revenue collection for the city of Banjul. So the whole idea was to bring forward this Sabel investment, because they will be able to meet up with that proposed plan to have as much license revenue generated for the city of Banjul. So subsequently, he explained to me, but I said, okay, now perhaps what you will have to do is to take it to the council and then to have their blessing, so that we can pursue with this plan.
Batchily, please proceed.
Yeah. So then the deputy mayor was acting at the time, so it was taken to the council, and then the council agreed for us to work with them. That is how it started.
So Batchily, you know as CEO that it is the responsibility of the finance department to collect revenue. This you know.
Yes.
Good. And there are people paid for this, to do this job.
Yes.
The areas that were identified are areas that the revenue collectors can go and collect revenue. This you know. These are areas that revenue collectors can definitely go to and collect revenue. SAPS did not come up with any new areas that you did not know about. So the mayor was not in town when this was happening.
No, it was not in town when it was brought to the council. Yes.
She raised some concerns, correct? To you?
Yes, yes.
Please tell us that.
No, not at that juncture.
At any point in time?
At the point in time that she raised concern was when we also ourselves as a management team. When as a management team, we also started raising concern that our emphasis was on areas that we have not been collecting before.
Right.
But then we started realizing that, you know, like this group, this Sabel group, started encouraging into the traditional license zone.
Because for the consultant to collect revenue from an area that is totally new, it's almost impossible. You know the terrain more than the consultant. You know your job more than the consultant. You know the area that you should collect revenue more than the consultant. So there's no way he can come up with new ways and means of collecting revenue where you did not even know exist. That was never possible in the first place, right? If you look at what was collected by the consultant, you will see that nothing was new. That's one. So did she engage you in this to tell you about her dissatisfaction with SAPS?
I explained that
Please.
the interventions from her came subsequently, not at the time that the agreement was made, not during the first phase of their operations. So I would think that, I would strongly believe that, it emanated from a meeting we had as a management.
Yes.
Because we had a meeting, and then I can make those
Minutes available. Okay.
As a management, we started realizing that this group, they're encroaching into our traditional license zones for the collections. I think that's the time she knew what was happening, but not that it came out of her own will or she had prior information than we do, no. Because for us, it was not verbal. It was manifested in minutes that the management had, and the management proposed that we terminate the contract.
Did the General Council pass a resolution to say that you have to give SAPS a contract?
They agreed.
A resolution?
Okay, there should be a distinction between a resolution and an agreement.
Okay.
Because in the sense that subsequently we had a clerk to the council by the name Mr. Jones.
Jones, yes.
Who introduced the concept of having council resolutions written down explicitly clear.
Right.
But before, what we used to have was agreements. Council would just agree to something like that. So this is a kind of categorization, I think.
In 2018, yes. 2019, let me just speak about this, for instance. 2021, was there a resolution?
Agreement. You
had an agreement?
Yes.
What do you mean by agreement?
That the council agreed that we should engage this company.
What do we have to see to be convinced that the council agreed to a contract to be given to?
Yeah, it's stipulated in the minutes.
In the council minutes?
Yes.
Will you be able to provide these minutes?
Yeah, I have those ones.
With you now?
No, not with me.
Okay, please write it down. We want it. Now, Mr. Batchily, does council have the power to? Yes, yes.
Mr. Batchily, can you tell us, since the discussion with SAPS was done when the mayoress was out of town, and I believe there was presentation, and they identified the areas that you were not collecting revenue from. Can you give us some of the examples that they gave you to convince you that they can get new revenue lines other than what you have already had as a council?
Okay, the presentation that you're talking about was not formally done.
Was not?
Was not formally done by the company to the council.
But what new areas of the revenue line did he talk about? Did the company talk about for you to be convinced that they could bring in more revenue than the ordinary collectors that you have in the council?
Okay, like I was explaining before, I
just want specific examples. Because I do believe that I concur with the mayoress when she said that she was not informed, and that Banjul is so small and she couldn't see new revenue areas that could have warranted the finance director and yourself and the council approving to get the company to start collecting revenue. So I want example. So can you give me offhand an example of Areas that you were not dealing with as council?
No, there are no areas given as examples.
So which means?
But then the issue here is, as part of the technical advice I obtained from him, the Director of Finance, was that ever since we have been trying to match up with like the GRA in terms of what they collect as business license fees for the city of Banjul.
But Mr.
So that's
no, let me just, I have to intervene at this point. But you have had your collectors, and you have put in place incentives to even make sure that these collectors would collect the revenue and will collect it in the way and manner in which it will reflect what you have surveyed and the anticipated income at the end of the month. So why do you have to contract a company when he is not bringing anything new on the table?
Okay, I understand what you are saying, but I am talking of the mindset we had with regards to the acceptance.
But the mindset is not informed with any fact or data that could warrant you to pay that money to that company for a job that you have already had employees doing it.
Yeah, you know, you are talking about specific examples that they might have
yes,
proposed
but
us.
you are not able to give me any examples
But
in terms of areas of revenue line, new revenue lines that they would have created or gone into to recover money.
I am with you, Ma. I accept what you are saying, that whether there were specific areas that were given to us. I'm with you. But then what I'm also saying here is, even if you look at the minutes that the council came up with regards to this, you can see that the whole emphasis is on trying to match up with GRA in terms of revenue collection in the jurisdiction of Banjul, but not the specific examples you are talking about. There I agree with you. They were not given.
Council, you may proceed.
Mr. Batchily, we have the statement of the finance director. The statement dated is exhibit number LGCC/BCC/MC bracket 1/001 Mamadou Kamara. Page number 9, which overlap to page 10. That's where you have the issue regarding SAP. He said, on the issue of SAP, PCC signed 1-year contract with SAP 2020 to 2021 at the sum of $2,250,000 to collect revenue for council. SAP company successfully collected over $1 million for council in 2020 and phased out at the end of the year 2020. Now, the breakdown, he said, with SAP on board, we increased over our revenue base and brought extra $25 million new money to BCC. However, the following year, being 2022, SAP's contract was not renewed and our revenue nosedived to $7 million. This was the genesis of bringing SAPs, and the rest is history. What do you say to that?
I disagree.
Why?
Yeah, because that's not the reality.
So what is the reality?
The reality was that they should have brought in something much higher than what we were collecting then on an average basis.
Now, he said further, I wish to tabulate some of the new revenue brought by SAP over the 9 months as follows. Sehu Sise, he said evaded BCC for over 10 years, now paid $15,000. There was no new revenue. Kaba Kunda Enterprise, $3,000. Do they not register? If you have a new business, do they not register with BCC? They would have already registered.
Some do register on time, but with others, you might have to pursue with them to do the legislation with the council.
With the council?
Yes.
So you have Kabakunda Enterprise, Unit Trade Company, Bar Enterprise, Comafric, TA Express, Royal Drugstore. Everyone knows Royal Drugstore, correct?
Yeah.
Mamoudou Dukure, Express Forwarding and Clearing Agency. They're not difficult to find, are they? The clearing agents.
Some of them are mobile though.
They are what?
They are mobile, they don't have fixed premises.
So how did SAPS, it's an agency, it's different, but how would the SAPS discover this? Were you told?
Some people are able to, maybe through personal connections or personal...
Were you informed by SAPS how 1 or 2 or 3 of the businesses were discovered?
No.
That is the essence of consultancy, is it not?
No.
Is that not the case?
Yeah.
It goes on. Express Forwarding Clearing and Agency, GFIN Forwarding and Clearing Agency, A&Y Forwarding and Clearing Agency, Cahen Forwarding and Clearing Agency, AJ and Daughters Forwarding and Clearing Agency, Flash Forwarding and Clearing Agency. You have Balore Transport and Logistics, AB Forwarding and Clearing Agency, and the list goes on. None of this appears to be new revenue lines or new discoveries, correct?
Yes.
And you have Guy Enterprise. Guy Enterprise. You don't know Guy Enterprise before?
Oh yeah, I know Guy Enterprise.
He collected a lot of money from Guy. 500,000, 400,000, 27,433 dollars, 620 bruts, 21,260 dollars, 63 goes on as well. Petrogas. Is Petrogas new?
No.
Is it unknown to you people?
We're along the same avenue.
Exactly. Petrogas, 200,000, Petrogas, 100,000, Petrogas, 265,000. You know what the remarks were? There was a standoff over the years due to outstanding BCC debts. No, SAPS was not contracted for outstanding debts. Intensive follow-up and subsequent payment. That was not what they were contracted for. Evaded BCC for over the years. That's Petrogas, Carlton Hotel. Intensive follow-up and subsequent payment. That's DHL International. Really? They paid $2,400. And you guys gave this man, I will call him, over $3 million for doing nothing. How did you do it?
Lead counsel,
Right.
can I come in?
Of course.
I think, in a sense, we're talking about the same thing.
How?
Because as a body, when this proposal came, like I say,
Right.
and which you see subsequently in the documentation
Right.
that will follow.
Right.
Our emphasis as a council was that if you look at you were just asking me about the legislation process.
Right.
Okay, now we discovered that, for example, like the GRA, you cannot operate absolutely, on average, within the city of Banjul without paying GRA
Yes.
their fees. Through the legislation process that you go through,
Right.
to the Ministry of Justice,
Correct.
to
Yes.
income tax.
Right.
So GRA is like a must
Right.
that you go to them and do your legislation.
Right.
So that was the thinking we had, that this company can bring us the possibility of matching GRA, if not 100%, but we match them in terms of their ability.
How?
To make sure that people who are operating.
How?
That is what we expect that they will come and do for us.
You don't expect, you know, you find out, you do due diligence, my friend.
No, I'm talking about the rationale here.
I'm talking about that there should not be any rationale
Yeah.
divorced from the idea of doing due diligence. So when you have an intention, when you have a plan, That does not mean you have to just execute it blindly. You want to maximize revenue. That's why you are the CEO and the finance director. It's a good initiative. That doesn't mean you have to go give free money, my friend.
Can I just come a bit?
Yes.
So it's like that was the very reason, because through our regular management meetings, we got to discover through the license department, we got to discover that the revenue that is being brought in presently by this investment company is like revenue that was tapped from our conventional sources.
Why did you pay?
You know, that's something we discovered at the latter end.
No, but you paid. When you were paying $3,664,960 is two butts, you paid this based on evidence that revenue was generated. Correct?
Yes.
And so if you examine the revenue that was generated, you will see it was based on the existing revenue lines.
Exactly.
Which would have violated the terms of the agreement.
Exactly.
Then you should not pay.
We did that at the latter part.
No, don't dodge.
No, I'm not dodging.
The line.
I'm not dodging
You
what you're
should
saying.
not have paid.
There, at that point, you know, yes.
Why did you pay?
Yeah, because we did not see that.
No, then
That
if
this
you
is
don't
coming. This is coming from our traditional sources.
No. That cannot be correct, Mr. Batchily.
No, but
SAPS will come and tell you, we brought in $6 million for you guys.
yes.
And you will see it reflect in your system. And you will see it itemized. The amounts that will make up the 6 million will be clear. That they received Petrogas, Carlton Hotel, you will see it. Will you not?
Yeah, but okay, I should see it. But then at that juncture, I left it with the director of finance to deal with that.
Why?
To make use of, you know, the collections that were coming in. That is a responsibility I delegated.
Director of finance is a friend of the contractor.
Which I got to know to you.
No, you knew.
No, I did not know that.
Mr. Batchily, what were you doing then?
I did not know that they were friends.
Why would you not know?
Like he elaborated here.
He introduced you to SAPS.
Yes.
Ask the necessary questions.
He introduced me to him here. I would not deny that.
Mr. Batchily, if anyone introduces someone to you, it is clear that they know each other. That is just clear, 101, that you know this man. That is why you are introducing him to me.
But not to the extent that he explained to me.
Find out the extent.
He's a former classmate. It is through you and him, your interaction.
Mr. Batchily, whether they were classmates, whether they were university mates, whether they were from the same street, is not necessary. The conflict of laws regulation states clearly that you cannot be associated with the individual you are giving business to. It didn't say that you don't have to be in the same class. So the part that they were in the same class is not relevant to it makes matters worse, of course, but it's not just the relevant thing. I'm saying as a CEO, you knew that they knew each other before because you were introduced.
Yeah, I was introduced to him.
So they know each other.
Okay, we assume that they know each other.
You don't assume.
Because,
no one can introduce anyone to you if they don't know each other. That's just common sense, Mr. Batchily.
Yeah, but for me, it's like being introduced to somebody alone cannot make me to assume that you are friends.
No, I did not say they are friends.
I was introduced.
I didn't say they are friends. Knowing someone and being friends with someone is different.
Yeah.
They know each other substantially well for the finance director to introduce the person to the CEO for a contract that will worth more than $3 million. That's all that matters. And the CEO did not bother to find out, to ask, to make sure that the conflict of interest box is ticked. Not interested, for whatever reason.
What did counsel? If I knew very well that, you know, they are very good friends, I might not maybe have had that same.
Do you know what you did not do?
Yes.
You were supposed to reject that from the onset. From the word go, you were supposed to tell the finance director that if we are to have a contractor or consultant to collect revenue, we discuss it at the senior management meeting, take it to general council. If it is approved, you roll out the bidding processes, follow procurement process, invite bidders, let them compete and get the best. That is the process.
Yes.
You knew that that is the process.
That's the way it should have been, yes.
And you did not do it that way.
Yes.
Why?
Well, because that is how we did it. We did not do it the proposed way that we are saying,
Why?
which I accept.
You said what?
Which I accept.
But why? What must have been the reason?
You know, first of all, the error that we did was when you are supposed to normally take it to council.
Right.
You should not by right tell council that it is XY that we are trying to bring on board.
That's what I'm saying.
It should have been the concept first, that we want to enhance our revenue.
Exactly.
Through collaboration with some private operators.
Yes.
Who have access,
yes,
or potentially could have access to the GRA database.
Right.
For the jurisdiction of Banjul.
Correct.
And then if the council
approves,
gives the go-ahead, then
the procurement process.
Thank you very much. Good. But now, in this case, if a company X, Y, and Z is taken to council, for example, and
by the CEO.
Well, that's the reason why I'm taking it there.
By the CEO?
Yes.
Is the CEO who flouted the rules? Is
yes.
That way, Mr. Kamara, all I will say is just I had to talk to my boss. My boss took it to council.
Yes, but then something happened.
What?
When it went to the council, when it went to the general council, he himself introduced it to them.
Of course, he's your 2IC,
yeah,
your number 2.
Yeah, but that was wrong.
He has no obligation.
Yeah, that was wrong.
Mr. Kamara has no obligation whatsoever to say, to not take this to council. He has no authority to take this to council. He didn't take it to council, and therefore, if the boss takes it to council, the number 2, if asked questions, can answer questions.
No, I don't think you understood what I'm saying.
Come again.
What I'm saying is, after he came to my office,
right,
to give me these proposals,
right,
you understand, I had my own opinions,
right,
but I told him that, I cannot just at this juncture just give you the go-ahead.
Right.
We have the council meeting.
Right.
I think if I'm not mistaken, it was the following day.
Right.
So when we went to the council, like I say, I, as the CEO, should have introduced it,
right,
the topic,
right,
to the general council.
Right.
And if I have some advices,
right,
then he could come in,
right,
and give advices, so that it will help them in terms of their decision making.
Right.
Yeah, but when we went to the council, he himself introduced it to the council, which was a breach of protocol.
Where were you?
I was there.
I'm not interested in the breach of protocol. I don't think the commissioner should be interested in the breach of protocol. You were present when your junior was speaking.
Yes, I was present.
Stop it. If the protocol is been breached, you stop it. If the person has no authority to speak, you tell the person to keep quiet. He breached your protocol. That's your problem, Mr. Batchily. That's your problem. I wouldn't allow that if I don't want to. That's your problem. And when he spoke on behalf of you, because you were there and you were keeping quiet. And so whatever your junior says has been ratified by you, Mr. Batchily. Don't look for excuses. You were not supposed to take this to council in the first place in that manner.
Whatever I say here, it's not like an excuse I'm giving.
No, Mr. Batchily, I am trying to tell you.
I am telling you, as at that time, what transpired.
I know, and we appreciate.
But now that you are trying to show me the, like I can say, the way forward, or what should have been done at that juncture, I'll accept it in good faith.
Mr. Batchily, it's just simple logic. If you attend a meeting with your junior and he starts speaking and you are quiet, what does that mean? you agree to that. If you don't agree to that, you just tell him to keep quiet, period. That's it. So that's your problem with your finance director. That's not our problem. That's not our problem. Our problem is you took the matter to council and you disregarded procurement process. You gave subs a contract that was unlawful because council does not have the power to issue contracts. They can only approve that you venture into issuing a contract for consultation, but the process must be followed. You get it?
That's where I think I agree with you.
Yes.
That this whole business of mentioning people or companies to council was in the first place wrong.
That's it.
I think what we could have done was to introduce the objective of what we wanted.
Mr. Batchily, when things are wrong financially, monies that are paid, I have to be fair to you to tell you, monies that are paid becomes unlawful. And they have to be recovered. They have to be recovered. Monies paid to subs were unlawful. Very unlawful. They were to be recovered.
Council,
Yes.
let me just ask Mr. Batchily. Mr. Batchily, you had said, you had explained the rationale as to why you felt that the subs company should be given the opportunity because you wanted to benchmark it with the operations of GRA. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Now, you as an institution, and GRA being an institution, do you not think that you could have understudied GRA, or you could have written to GRA to ask for capacitizing your personnel to be able to learn from their good practice and to be able to do the job than giving it to this company?
I agree with you.
Now, the second question is, you have a recovery unit, right? When I say recovery unit, I believe that you've been taken through the fact that you retain the services of law firms to help you collect monies that are owed to the council. And before I get to my question, you have told this commission that, and the trade license manager told this commission that they do assessment which will allow them to understand or to know the market, whether there have been new businesses registered, whether there are new businesses available. Was that not a situation or circumstance which would have enabled you to question this company, because you already have a unit that does these assessments before they start collecting the tax, so that they knew whether there have been some businesses that have moved out, closed, or there are some new businesses that are available, given the fact that Banjul is small. And I entirely agree with the Lord Mayor when she said Banjul is small and there were new revenue headlines, new revenue heads that SAPS could have tapped into to augment the revenue that you were getting. So you have everything that it takes, because the council has a lawyer, and when you felt that perhaps you needed another lawyer to help you recover, you obtain the services of a law firm, which is good, because you have been trying to get the collectors to get the money and they couldn't get the money, and you believe that by retaining the services of a lawyer you will get your money back, which is a good idea, because if people are not paying and the law gives you the possibility of recovering the money, of course you are mandated by law to do that. So why do you have to bring somebody else to start doing something when he doesn't even know the market? He doesn't know the jurisdiction well enough. Because you have the data and the information through your departments, because your department does the assessment to bring you the information to say, this is the anticipated revenue that we will collect for the year. based on what they have collected on the ground. So for all those things, you did not bring them to the council to discuss all of these issues and to see the viability of you having to expend another 3 million to something that was not absolutely necessary. Because for me, my understanding is that SAPS did exactly what the law firm you retain was doing, to collect money from people that owed you money and from people that were not paying the licenses. Is that not the case?
Yes, that's what they were meant to, that's what
is
they were
that the
blocking.
case or is it not the case? Is that the case?
You mean for SAPS?
Yes. They were doing exactly what the legal firm you retained was doing, to collect monies from businesses that were not paying. Is that not what it was?
No,
doing?
there was not a specific exercise we had with our retainership in terms of bringing money.
What?
There was no specific exercise we had during that time with our legal retainership for the increment of revenue.
Did you not retain Danemayo Chambers to go after the people that are owing you?
No, it was not a retainership. It was just an agreement.
No. Yes, that is what I'm saying. I said, did you not retain him to collect the arrears?
Yes.
That they owe?
Yes.
That is what I mean.
No, now I've recalled what you're saying.
Yes. So what I'm saying now is that you contracted somebody to do exactly what SAPS was doing for you.
Yes.
Was that fair?
No.
And was that correct?
No.
Council, you may proceed.
Yes, Commissioner Silla, you may proceed.
Yes, thank you. I think the whole problem has to do with sequence. First of all, you do a needs assessment, and the needs assessment should come from the institution. When the institution sees that there are uncollected revenues, then a consultant is hired to come up with how do we recover. After the consultant, then it is tendered, and then the contractors are hired to collect the money. But here, SAPS were no consultants. If you look at what consultancy mean, they were contractors, because they went out there to the field to collect money. The consultant should have been out there to do design, specification, give you financial projection, what and what should be done, based on needs assessment from the institution. So I think this is what they lack, the sequence of how do we do it, and was there a need to do it? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Batchily, you agree?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Mr. Batchily, my only problem with this is you people were in a position to know this. That's my only problem. And for most of the things that we discuss, if I have to be honest, my only problem is you, by virtue of your experience and of course your education, Mr. Batchily, and your experience, you are in the position to know. Anyways, we had also lawyers that were hired to collect revenue. Dandemayo was hired.
Yeah, Dandemayo. Yeah.
How?
We had an agreement with him.
The process.
Dandemayo, the process was, I think...
the Kamara says it's the mayor that brought Dandemayo. Is that correct?
Yes.
So now tell us.
Yeah, because he told me about it, I think in the morning. It was during the morning time that he explained to me.
It was?
It was during the morning time.
Yes.
That he explained to me that when he was at Social Security, he used to have an idea of what Dandemayo Chambers was doing for the Social Security.
Right.
So why don't we also look at the feasibilities
of
getting him on board?
Correct.
So subsequently, you know, like we went to the mayor's office, myself, himself,
yes,
and then the mayor herself. So Lamin Kamala was called, and then we had a discussion, and we were supposed to, I think I still don't recall the percentage. Yeah, but anyway, that's why we sealed the agreement
Okay.
in the office.
Why did you not also roll this out? There are several law offices, several law firms, several registered law firms. Why did you not roll it out?
Again, it was something that, like, should have been done but wasn't done.
Yes, that's why I asked the question, because it should have, and it wasn't the case. Why was it not the case?
Okay, partly was due to the fact that we were very confident of the fact that he was an experienced lawyer who had a good profile.
No doubt about that.
Of collecting revenues for
Not only collecting revenue, Mr. Batchily. He's a lawyer with a reputation, good reputation. That's not what the issue is here. The issue is, you can say the same for some lawyers as well,
Yeah,
correct?
that's true.
Yes. So the procurement regulation says that you must follow the procurement method.
When it comes to legal practitioners, because I heard you and yourself and the ex-director of finance, I think he raised the fact that most of the legal personnel are not normally registered with the GPPA. But then I learned, you told him further, okay, if that's the case, you could have made expressions of interest.
Mr. Batchily, there is a procurement unit. There is supposed to be a contracts committee. You guys should know more than we do. I don't like that idea that people will sometimes try to suggest that they don't know these things exist. Request for proposal.
Yes.
Mr. Batchily, that is not even the point. Even if you get the wrong procurement method genuinely, the idea is there should be an intention to follow procurement process. The intention was not there in the first place.
Yes.
Why?
Because we relied on the fact that, like I said, some of these profiles that we thought would enable this particular law firm. But
Still,
notwithstanding, I'm coming to that, notwithstanding with some of the issues that you have raised in terms of the compliance, there I don't think I have much to say. We did not do it.
See, this is the problem. Again, disregarding procurement process, payments made therein, Mr. Batchily, would have been void, would have been unlawful payments. See, the financial regulations are very strict. The CEO knows, the finance director knows, they are the ones who are in the contracts committee, they run the institution, the mayor knows, the council knows about this. So, no.
I beg your pardon, late council. This particular matter was not taken to council, by the way.
Making matters worse, and thank you for the information. I'm just saying that council is in the position to know that there are regulations regulating the financial affairs of council. The mayoress, chairperson, as the case may be, should be in the position to know that the processes must be followed, and they exist. They know. The CEO knows that there is a procurement act, procurement regulation, financial manual, and local government act, and so on. Correct?
Yes.
The finance director knows as well that for every authorization, he has to go back to the financial manual and the Finance and Audit Act. It's clear. These laws, they exist within the knowledge of these classes of people I have mentioned. So there is no room for excuse. You'll agree.
No, but I never gave an excuse.
No, not from you alone.
I'm with you throughout.
Not from you alone. I'm just saying you or the mayor or the council is just a flagrant violation, total departure from what the law says, and no reason for that. SAPs were given 31%. How did you arrive at that? Who negotiated 31%?
The companies, the representative of the company itself.
The companies?
Mr. Salah, he was representing SAPS.
Yes. How did you agree to the 31%?
And ourselves.
Come again?
Mr. Salah and ourselves, myself and the
How
ex-director.
did you agree? It's just the two of you?
Three of us.
Yourself?
The representative, Mr. Salah,
Yes.
and the ex-finance.
And what
directors.
informed you about this percentage? What did you consider in agreeing to pay 31%? That's almost 50% of monies collected.
Yeah, but then the thinking was that 70% is a decent figure for us to have.
31%?
70%.
70?
Yes.
No, it's not. Even agents, most of them are paid 10%, 5%. That doesn't make sense, my friend. You are giving the entire money from, it's supposed to be given to the community, my friend, to one individual who did nothing, huh? So we move. With Mr. Camara as well, it's 19%. Who agreed to 19%?
19% for?
The fee, the solicitor's fee.
You mean for Dandimayo?
Yes.
Yes, it was also agreed by all of us.
Who is all of us?
Himself, myself, and the man himself, and the mayor.
And you know, of course, there will be a chance that someone else will give 5%, 3%,
Yes,
10%.
you're very right.
So what is the point? Why 19? Why did you agree to 19?
Well, it was all expectations that, that he will do us the job that we were anticipating him to do.
Mr. Batchily, you see, nobody is talking about the efficiency of Tandemar. We're just saying that you guys intentionally disregarded the procurement process. Intentionally. It was very deliberate.
Council, is a convenient point to stop.
Yes.
It's 1 o'clock. We may rise.